Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cyril and this is Love and Cars. If you're thinking of joining the Nissan family and you want to buy the Nissan Magnite, this video is for you. On this video today, we're going to talk about 5 common problems associated with the Nissan Magnite. You better watch this video before buying that particular car. Don't get me wrong, it's a good looking vehicle, pretty much sexy, and looks very much good when women are driving it. I've seen some guys who were interested and actually fell in love with the vehicle itself. However, it's mostly dominated by female drivers. By the way, let's put that one to the side. Let's get down to the business. What are 5 common problems that can be found in the Nissan Magnite? The first problem that can be associated with the Nissan Magnite is its power. You see, the engine is pretty small. It's a 3-cylinder. And whether it's naturally aspirated or turbocharged, it doesn't matter. The naturally aspirated one produces 55 kilowatts and the turbocharged one produces around 60. However, the turbocharged version has a horrendous turbo lag. So because of that, when you have to overtake, you must calculate because it takes time for the turbo to kick in, and by the time it kicks in, it's already too late. So it's frustrating when you're driving, and it lacks so much power in underboost, meaning before the turbo kicks in, there's a lack of power in the engine, which is frustrating when you're driving from a standstill. Its 5-speed standard transmission manual is one of the less engaging and very much underwhelming gearbox. That's the first thing that you need to understand about the Nissan Magnite. Number 2, the Nissan Magnite has a sensor problem. It has a lot of sensors inside the car. However, they tend to become faulty and get confused in trying to figure out what is it that they want. For example, the car can give you fault of steering wheel, power steering wheel problem, ABS problem, traction control problem, radar cruise control problem. Your dashboard can light like a Christmas tree out of nowhere, even when the car is still new. The sensor problem is typically a difficult one to solve for technician, because when they plug in the car inside the computer, it's very much hard to tell where the problem actually comes from. The only thing that they can do is to clear the problem and then give back the car to you, and then you drive it down the road for you to experience the same thing. It's very much frustrating because some other drivers have actually mentioned a loss of power when they're driving due to the car going into limp mode. So that's another problem which is found in the Nissan Magnite. Number 3, there's been a lot of cost cutting in that vehicle. The interior itself sometimes feel like it's falling apart if you're driving on gravel roads. There's been report of people experiencing rattling noise alongside the dashboard area. Some were even experiencing rattling noise in the door panel here, close to the speaker. And they took the cars back to the dealership, and the dealership replaced the speaker, and the speaker mount, still the rattling noise was there. Others experienced problems with shock absorbers with the car giving a knock sound each and every single time they go through a speed hump or if they hit a pothole. So the code casting of the quality of the things and the plastic material used in the vehicle itself is poor. Remember, the car is made in India, man. Number 4, the air conditioning system in that particular vehicle drains the power out of the car. When you're driving in a hot day and you turn on the aircon, you can feel that the engine is struggling even further. It's like you have put brakes in the engine to stop it from spinning and turning. That's how much weak the engine actually is. And the underpower of this particular vehicle can be felt when you have 5 people in the car and you are accelerating uphill. It loses power very much. However, if you're not a person that has a problem with that, you can drive the car. There's no problem with that. However, for me personally, I wouldn't like a car that has problem with the power and would go to limp mode when I'm driving it. Last but not least, the Nissan Magnite has a problem with its braking system, more especially the CVT one. The manual transmission one, if you know how to drive manual, your brakes can last a little bit longer. However, if you're driving a CVT one, you'll actually realize that your brake pads wear out faster than normal. There have been reports of people experiencing squeaking noise, even though the car has done under 10,000 kilometers. This is caused by the lack of gears which is found inside the transmission that you're using, which is the CVT. There is no actual gear, so it doesn't help the car in breaking down in what we call engine braking. Because it's actually a belt and a pulley system inside that transmission, it has no resisting power to help the car come to a standstill. And another thing is that the brakes, the type of material that they use in the brake pads and the rotors itself are made of cheap material, therefore they don't last that long. I would recommend that you will replace those discs and pads with the aftermarket ones. They will last you a little bit more longer than that. However, for a 300 and something thousand and 200 and something thousand car, it should come with better brake discs and rotors, man. As a matter of fact, that should last you long before you change another disc or pads. But anyway, people love it, that's why they buy it. Oh, and before I forget, the issue with the sensors and your instrument cluster lighting and turning into a Christmas tree most of the time is caused by the small battery that comes with the car. Because the car comes with a very much small battery, the battery cannot withstand or cannot stand enough battery power to the electrical system of the car. Then it gets overloaded and put a fault inside the ECU system, which then puts the car into limp mode and trigger a whole lot of sensors. Replacing that battery might help.